Hello everyone, I'm damn sure that you all have seen some animations or videos to understand the distance of Earth and comparison its distance with Sun or other stars or large planets. But the main problems of those animations were that you cannot feel it right way. Yes, you can visually see that Earth is that much tiny and Sun is that much huge, but you cannot really feel it and the distance between Earth and Sun too. But recently I have worked on such problems and understanding its very intuitive way that I was ever. To understand how big or small an object is, we take the help of a concept called scaling. So let me explain what do we mean by scaling. So imagine if ants were the size of a human. So what would be the size of their teeth, or what would be the size of their face? And if I ask that if they bite, could they just cut off our throat? So this is a pretty intuitive questions, and if you want to find out the answers, you must take the concept of scaling. You first scale the ants and make them equal to the size of human, and then you compare its strength, its teeth strength, and whatever the things you are looking for. And in our problem, we are trying to figure out, or we are trying to scaling the size of Sun into an intuitive example which we can understand. That we will consider if the size of Sun is equal to the size of a football, then what would be the size of our planet Earth? So this is a very pretty intuitive question that you can really understand. And after that we will also look that what is the distance between Sun and Earth if we take the approximation or the consideration that the size of star or size of Sun is the size of a football. So let's begin our calculation. To scale up or scale down an object, what I simply do is multiply the actual size of an object by its scale ratio. And the scale ratio is nothing but the size of an object on a particular scale to the actual size of an object. As you know, the scale ratio is the size of an object on a particular scale to the actual size of that object. So if I consider and measure that what is its size, let the size of this object is 1 meter, though it's not, and if I simply double it, then its size will be 2 meter. So what I will do is 2 meter divided by 1, so I will get a scale ratio as 2. But here it was a very pretty basic example, so I could just simply mathematically, don't need to think about it, I just can simply think about this in my mind and do some assumptions. So go back to our problem that if we consider the size of Sun to as the size of a football, which is around 22 centimeter, then to find out the scale ratio, what we will do is we will divide 22 centimeter by the actual size of the Sun, which is around this kilometer, which you can see on the screen. And calculating this, we got this answer, centimeter per kilometer. It is not necessary that you have to stick with that particular unit. You can go any unit, as you can also just take as meter, but here I will pick this because I was working on a problem, a computation problem, and that case they were given everything actual size in kilometers, so it would be helpful for us to work with that. So so this is what we got, the scale ratio. So if I want to understand if the Sun is 22 centimeter, then how small would Earth look like? Then I will need to find out the scaled diameter of Earth, which would be obviously scale ratio times the actual size of Earth. So you have the scale ratio, which you got just now, and multiply the size of Earth, which is around 12,742 kilometer, as you can see on the screen. So calculating, you got 0.20 centimeter or just 2 millimeter. So you see that size of Sun if we consider this as 22 centimeter, then the size of Earth would be only 2 millimeter. You know that how small is 2 millimeter? When you trim your beard or something, the smallest scale you will have is 1 millimeter length, and this is roughly shaving your beards. You won't even see any hairs or beards visually. So if I compare, or if I showcase you that how long it is, so here you can see that this is a 22 centimeter. So if I consider this as my beard, which obviously I cannot grow that much long beard, so if I consider this that much long beard, then the size of the Earth would be just, here, the tiny fraction, so which you can definitely not see. I will also add a picture which I draw on paper to help you understand the things better way. So this is a comparison of, if the sun was 22 centimeter, then the Earth would look like just that much tiny, the smallest beard trim we do. So now our next question was that what is the distance between sun and Earth would look on the particular scale. So to find out this, you can simply find the scale distance, and for this, that what you need to do, you just need to multiply the actual distance between sun and Earth with its with the scale ratio we got. So the distance between Earth and sun is roughly 1.496 into 10 to the power 8 kilometer, and you just simply multiply the scale ratio and you got it's around 23.48 meter. So this distance is roughly similar if we double the distance of a badminton field. I consider that you also play badminton in the particular field which is internationally recognized. I also have played, and the length of that badminton field is around 13.4 meters. So if you double it, you would get 26 meter. So 23.4 is roughly similar to the twice of the size of a badminton field. So you see that the distance between Earth and sun is that much long, and if you consider yourself that you are standing one side of that field, and would you able to detect Earth, which would be placing just another end of that field? So obviously not. And if I want to take you to the next question, which is the nearest star to us is Alpha Centauri, and it is around 4.13 light years away from Earth or sun, whatever you take. And why I told you that it doesn't matter that it is distance from Earth or sun, because that time the distance between Earth and sun becomes negligible. You know that the correct distance between sun and Earth is 1 astronomical unit, and whatever. So here, if you want to feel it, that how long is that distance, I will first convert the 1 light years into meter, and then 4.13 light years to meter, and then want to scale and want to find the scale distance of that into what we did. So what we will do is multiply the distance between sun and Alpha Centauri, and multiplying it with the scale factor or the scale ratio, and we got 6123 kilometer. You know what is this distance? It is nearly similar to the radius of Earth. The radius of Earth is 6,373 kilometer. That is 6378 kilometer. So that is how far the closest solar system from us. If you think about this in mind, then this is pretty obvious that the distance between two badminton field will be negligible if we compare the distance of Earth, which is obviously long. If you run or if you fly 4 times of the distance, you can make a full round of the world, because that distance, the radius is the half of the diameter. So That's pretty intense. So that is our video. It become so long because I had to explain you this from the basics. I had no other option, so I feel that you enjoyed it, and if you, then please share it with your friends. We will see you in the next video, and I will try to make videos explaining more intuitive and interesting way. So till then, take care. Bye bye.